Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Good. We saw
Infinity Wars.
Yep, one of the most talked about,
Hyped up.
I would say it's hyped up, but I haven't been keeping track of it, so I wasn't that hyped about it.
I was pretty hyped. I'm sorry, guys. I got sucked into the whole. And it's like, because everyone kept saying like it's the most ambitious crossover ever. And, you know, the budget was 300 million, which is, I mean, and it's not like, there's been bigger, I assume. Is that mine?
Maybe. Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, yeah, I'll put it here.
Sorry, yep, we'll continue there.
Yeah, so it's like it's had a budget of 300 million, had over 70 cast members.
Mm-hmm.
Just, it was massive.
Yeah.
It's too big to even think about sometimes. So yeah, we went and saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it's the beginning of the end of the main
the
part,
OG.
the original Marvel cast franchise sort of thing.
The founding fathers.
It's 10 years now.
Oh my god. Do you know what's funny? They were really quickly, Tom Holland, they were asking him about, you know, has Marvel been a big part of your life? How old were you when Iron Man first came out? He's like, oh, like 12. And I'm like,
fuck, I don't even know how old I was. I was 13, 14.
Oh, I would have been like 10. No. I don't know. No, you would have been like
14.
Oh, 14. I would have been like 12.
Yeah.
13. Anyways.
I didn't even see it though when it came out.
Neither did I.
Oh man, I didn't see it until like 3 years after.
Yeah, I saw it a lot later. Anyways, so what's the film? What happened? Is this a spoiler-free review, or are we going to do?
Because you can't even talk about the opening sequence without spoiling.
Yeah, so unfortunately, if you haven't seen the film, please just go see the film and then come back, and then you can listen to the rest, unless you don't give a shit and you just want things to be spoiled.
Like, if you haven't seen any other Marvel films, this is all going to sound like gibberish because, and this is probably a good, one of the criticisms of the film, if you haven't seen any of the other films, you can't just sit down and watch this.
No, you can't.
You have to do a fair bit of legwork.
There's too much to be put into that. Just, is it 2 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours. Like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
2.5 hour film. There was just a lot to be. Anyways, we'll get to that.
Yep.
So this is full of spoilers. Spoiler warning.
Yep.
Click away now if you don't want to hear anything. Yep. I feel like I've warned you enough. Okay, bye.
Yep. So there's a bunch of plot lines that are all coming together at the same time. So we start off with Thor Ragnarok's, where that left off with Thor floating in the spaceship with whatever remains of Asgard's people, Loki, and that Valkyrie lady.
Yeah, what happened to her?
I assume she's dead.
Oh,
but
I loved her so much.
Well, she's dead now. That's going to be, I think, a trend, and how she's dead now. So yeah, we pick up with his spaceship being trashed by Thanos and his crew. With him and Loki, pretty much the only survivors at this point, apart from Idris Elba's character, who I can't remember his name.
Heimdall.
Cool.
That guy.
That guy. And the Hulk.
Oh yeah, the Hulk.
So
oh my god!
I keep forgetting about the Hulk all the time, and I don't think that's an uncommon problem. But yeah, they're all there. They try and fight him. Thor's had the shit kicked out of him at the start. He can't even fight back. Hulk tries to beat the shit out of him, and then Idris Elba sends him.
I don't know why he sends Hulk and not Thor.
I don't know.
Just because.
It was easier. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Just send someone. It just turned out to be Hulk. Yeah,
nobody else was in the way.
Yeah.
So he sends Hulk back to Earth to warn everybody about what Thanos is doing. He's finally coming for the gems. And Loki, in a last-ditch effort to be the trickster that he's supposed to be, tries to stab Thanos, and he is obviously unsuccessful, because this movie would be very short if he was.
Yeah.
And then he gets strangled to death in front of Thor, and Thor gets very pissed off but can't do anything, and then they blow up his ship and then they leave, and then we transition to Earth. Tony Stark's talking to Pepper Potts about possibly a baby. He saw a
I love Tony and Pepper. I'm sorry, I know there are people out there who are like, oh, what's the point? But I'm like, oh, they're the only relationship that I do give a shit about in the whole franchise.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
they're the oldest relationship in the whole franchise.
I think they're the most genuine. Anyways, that's just me.
Yeah, well, it's certainly more genuine than Thor and Jane. Yeah. They know that they abandoned that a very long time ago. So we transitioned to Earth in New York. He's talking to Pepper Potts about a dream he had about, we had a baby. It was very vivid, People have, dreams and they're reflected in real life sort of thing. And then Doctor Strange interrupts them. Hasn't met Doctor Strange before. They have a talk about how Bruce Banner's come back. And he knows that Thanos is coming. Mm-hmm. In the middle of their chat, some of Ultron's
children.
Ultron?
Thanos'
That was
kids.
A long time ago.
Thanos' kids.
Thanos' kids come down and start.
Yeah.
They blow a lot of wind around.
Kidnap Doctor Strange, who has the time stone.
Spider-Man turns up as well.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man.
He's on the bus to go to school or wherever.
On a school trip.
Field trip.
Yeah. Your memory of this is very good.
Yeah, he goes. I don't know. There, he turns up as well. They'll have a bit of a fight, which is fun. I did like how they basically made a erectile dysfunction joke out of the Hulk. Because he can't turn into the Hulk. He's trying, and Hulk won't come out.
It's like, you're embarrassing me in front of
the wizards.
Oh yeah, the wizards.
In front of the wizards. Like, come on, man. What? You having performance issues? That's Tony Stark just talking to them.
Yeah.
And yeah, he can't turn into Hulk, so he just basically hides. Does he hide? Or do they... No, they get him out of the way. Doctor Strange gets him out of the way. Because they want Doctor Strange's Infinity Gem, the time gem that he got in the Doctor Strange movie. Yeah.
So after that, I think the guy kidnaps Doctor Strange. Yeah. Tony Stark follows him up. Spider-Man follows him up into the ship. And then
they give Spider-Man his Iron Man suit.
Yes, Spider-Man his Iron Man suit. And then you kind of cut back because they're talking about Vision. Yeah. And Vision's in Scotland with Wanda. We will get to that point a lot later because I have a lot to say about that. Where they're walking around, they get attacked. Well, they're like in a relationship
now.
The
thing is, like, it's been such a long time since I've seen Civil War. Were they in hiding?
Yes. Not Vision. Just Wanda.
Because Vision was supposed to be stopping her from leaving, and then he didn't.
I don't know
because he likes her.
We'll get to this.
I can't quite remember because
we'll get to all
and then they're suddenly in Scotland. I found that jarring because I was like, why are they here?
Yeah, so that we'll get to that. Anyway, so in Scotland they get attacked by more of Thanos' kids. Vision gets like stabbed pretty badly, and they realize obviously they're after the Mind Stone. Bam! In comes Captain America and Black Widow and Falcon, and they're all doing their thing. Beat the kids. Beat the kids. I don't know. Beat the children.
Captain America beats children, and so does Black Widow and Falcon.
And then you kind of cut to the Guardians of the Galaxy
picking up Thor, who's floating in his wreckage.
And then,
which is probably some of my favorite stuff in the movie.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy
Thor
is definitely
the Galaxy.
The best. Some of the best stuff.
All the best comedy, pretty much came out of that. Mostly that chunk of the film when Thor was on the ship. Yeah, because it was like Chris Pratt being like big himself up to be like that, and to the point where he's mimicking his voice. Yeah, like, what I always talk like this.
So it kind of diverges into 5 storylines. I think I think it was 5 that I counted. So one is Thanos and Gamora, kind of him going to find the Soul Stone. There's Thor and Rocket trying to find the trying to get Stormbreaker, which is like the axe.
Captain America and
in Wanda.
In Wakanda.
In Wanda.
In Wanda.
In Wanda. Yep. Oh, that would be a plot twist. In Wakanda with the Black Panther, and then you see Bucky again. And then there's Robert Downey Jr. There's Tony Stark, Iron Man,
Spider-Man, and the Guardians of the Galaxy.
With the other half of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then there is another one.
Is there another one? There was so much shit happening in this film that I can't keep track of all of it.
I swear to God there was another one. Well, if there is, I don't remember anymore. So maybe there's only 4.
They converge a little bit.
They do converge here and there. But overall, like, everything kind of remains separate till... Actually, even at the end, no one really meets up because I guess it's a 2-part series. So everything's kind of left to be continued format, which pissed me off a little bit. But at the same time, I feel like now I have to watch the second part. I can't not watch the second part. Like, fuck me, man.
They ended with a Empire Strikes Back ending.
Yeah.
Where it's like everything's gone to shit.
Yeah.
So now it's got to be fixed in the next film. Which means to me the next film won't be as good as this one.
You don't know. Like, sometimes, people always love to see a hero winning most of the time.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it won't be good.
It won't be as good.
I just don't think it'll stand up to the drama.
Well, it's more fun setting the scene than it is tearing it down.
But like this, I think it's just like the stakes are much better in this film because they kill Loki and Idris Elba's character from the first 5 minutes of the movie. I was like, they're actually going to kill people now.
But when they kill them, I was thinking because I've been so, what's the word?
Desensitized.
Primed to just think no one will ever die.
Yeah.
That when they did kill Loki and Heimdall off, I was just like, surely this is a dream. This is a nightmare. Someone's having a nightmare and then they're going to wake up.
I had a moment where I was like, I hope this isn't like Tony Stark's got like a simulation going for them. Just in case.
I thought it was a dream because I'm so used to them doing that I'm just like, surely that's it. And then when it just continued, I was like, holy shit. The stakes have been raised. But yeah, okay.
It's funny because I was kind of like weirdly celebrating every time somebody died. Because I was like, yes, go.
Well, every time when Vision finally died, I was just like, oh, thank God. Like, I don't have to worry about this anymore. Anyways, let's talk about what we like, what we didn't like.
Yes. And
then just kind of breeze along some stuff.
Likes first, because
it's a good round.
The special effects are good.
Of course they are.
Of course they Well, they weren't in Black Panther. I'm sorry. But I don't like watching rubber guys in black jumpsuits jump around on each other.
Maybe he's supposed to be like rubbery because he's like Black Panther. He's a cat.
No, this is the thing. He looked great in Civil War. He looked like he ran like a cat and it didn't look shit. It looked good.
I don't know.
It's like they do like the Captain America Black Panther like running really fast really well. Like it looks legitimate. And then you get to like Black Panther and like, why does this look like a fucking cartoon?
Because everyone's in suits.
Yeah, I know, but that's the problem.
What was your favorite scene? Do you have a favorite scene?
Favorite scene? Because
we all love Thanos, Josh Brolin.
I think it was actually like most of the Thanos stuff I really liked, and that was from the more dramatic spectrum, like the darker stuff.
Yeah,
I liked as far as
but I liked how even though it was really dark and kind of grey and like upsetting, like the Guardian Galaxy. It's kind of like pulled through with their comedy, and it still kind of made me like. I had
a few scenes that I liked more than others. Like I liked the bit when the children turned up in New York, and like we had that whole sequence with Doctor Strange and Tony Stark and all that, and like the jokes were good there, and the action was pretty fun.
I liked it when they found They found Spider-Man on the ship.
Yep.
And then they were all just bantering between them, being like, what the fuck? Da, 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 da. And then Doctor Strange was like, I'm not saving you guys. And
I liked how Spider-Man based their entire plan off aliens.
Yeah. My partner, Kenji, who saw it, he was kind of like, oh, that's such a cop-out, like just sucking him into space. And I'm like, yeah, but...
Well, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, what else are you going to do? You have to push it along.
Iron Man just comes out and shoots him.
Yeah.
Blows him up.
My favourite part was when Tony Stark literally just turns to like... I keep saying Tom Holland. What's his name?
Spider-Man.
Peter Parker. And he just like does like the knighting thing. He's like,
with his hands, you're an Avenger.
You're an Avenger now. Bye. And it's just like
I did enjoy it, and it's in the trailer as well. The line when it's just like, "Who are you?" Doctor Strange. Oh, we're using our made-up names. I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah. Doctor Strange's face is like.
It's like, that is my name.
That is my name, you twat. Fuck you. There's some really good stuff in here, like better than...
There's some good humour.
Yeah, there's some good writing.
I thought it was funnier than Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, everything's funnier than Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. Although it stylistically is from like a colour palette and everything perspective, it looks a lot like Thor Ragnarok. Like the film visually...
Well, there's obviously a lot of dark elements, so...
But I mean, like... Just visually, like the comic book aesthetic of the whole film looks very much like that, and I think they're doing that pretty well.
That's good, yeah, no.
But I think my favourite scene, and this is obviously a spoiler, is Gamora's death.
Oh yeah,
I like that whole thing. I mean, I think she's coming back.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't think they're going to have the Guardians of the Galaxy without. I mean,
unless they replace it with
Nebula. At the end of the film, there's only one Guardian left alive. That's Rocket.
Oh shit!
They're all dead.
Yeah.
By the end.
To bring them all back. My favourite scene, you already know my favourite scene.
The other scene I really liked is when we saw Gamora's origin story. on her planet.
Oh yeah, that was good. I
Because
didn't.
it was really fucked up, actually.
Yeah.
It was surprisingly brutal. Actually, I actually say one of the things about this film. It's more violent than any
Yeah.
of the other movies.
Yeah.
There's blood.
Yeah, I know. Like, there's a lot of violence. Way more violent than what. I
It's
mean,
like they cut to Gamora's body and she's like bleeding green everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, and stuff.
the thing is, like, then it's not more violent than a lot of other films, but it's more violent than
the
a
other
lot of
Marvel
them.
films.
Yeah, because a lot of Marvel films you kind of see if someone gets stabbed, it's not real.
It's cut away or it's like obscured.
Yeah. Whereas this time when Tony Stark gets stabbed, it's like
Yeah.
blood everywhere,
Well,
and
it's
you're
like in the opening sequence, like Thor's like bleeding out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Like, as he's the shit kicked out of him.
yeah. Because, like, you know where that scene in Civil War where Rhodey, like, falls from the sky, and then, like, Iron Man takes off his mask, and he's just got, like, a bit of blood on his nose. That's it. Like, there's no, like, his head isn't cracked open.
Yeah.
There's no, like,
Doesn't have a big scar on his head, like bleeding. or
Yeah,
anything.
nothing. It's just, like, little. Just as, like, the artist was just, like, just a smidge here.
I want to disturb the children.
Yeah. Whereas this film is...
I will say, I think my favourite joke of the film isn't a joke that is said in the film, but it is a...
implied joke?
It's a joke about the actor. It's when Peter Dinklage turns up. Because
He's
they're
like
just
a
like,
giant.
no, they just said, this place is dwarves everywhere. And I'm like, okay, we're the little... And then he turns up, and it is Peter Dinklage,
Yeah.
who is actually
Yeah.
in real life, but he's fucking huge.
Yeah, and you're like...
That was great.
Not that I didn't recognize him, but it took me a moment to be like,
It's Tyrion.
and I was like, you know what? Kudos to you, Marvel, because I was not I was like you. I was like, okay, this is full of dwarves, so there's got to be a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's got to be Peter
I'm
Dinklage, you know.
I'm expecting like the sequence in like Lord of the Rings. Where
Yeah.
you go to the mines.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And then you just see like the one,
massive
I'm like-
thing. And you're like, oh, this is a dwarf. I was like, what
and
the-
I'm just like, it just reminds me of it's like, you know, this question's like, would you rather fight like a horse-sized duck or a duck like a duck-sized horse or something like that? But yeah, so that was really fun. My favorite scene was definitely the fight scene. I know Captain America's scenes weren't exactly the strongest.
That's going to be one of my negatives.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, like his role wasn't the strongest, which is really disappointing because I love Captain America's character, and and I wanted to see also more with what happened with Bucky, because obviously he was all crazy, but then they were just like, whoop, all fixed, and I'm like, fucking hell, I wanted to see him get like so fucked up and shit. Like,
what I didn't like as well is like they spent a hell of a lot of time saying like how close Bucky and Steve
were.
are. And then when Bucky dies, it just happens and it's done, and he barely reacts to it. It's like he turns to dust in front of him, and it's like, oh, it's
okay,
kind of sad.
it's like,
And I'm like,
well, that was short.
This should have been just as dramatic as the Spider-Man one.
yeah, like I felt like, you know, what would be really good if they had like not a side by side, like directly on screen, but kind of like Tony Stark holding Spider-Man, and then
Or one scene happens right after the other.
yeah, or one scene, and it's kind of like
It's
this
like the
mirror.
2 leaders.
Yeah, yeah, essentially, because I feel like I always felt like Iron Man and Captain America were like two sides of the same coin. They both had the same ideal or like kind
Objective.
of goal, but then the way they wanted to get to it was different. Whereas like because like Captain America was about freedom, and then Iron Man's more about like control and all that, like the Jedis and the Siths. I've been watching a lot of Star Wars lately. It's a problem.
The shit ones too.
Yeah, like I've just been watching them all the way through, and then I'll come home and be like, 7 p.m. My partner will come home and be like huddled there with like a bag of popcorn, just like, this is like the 80th time I watched this week. You know why? I don't know why. I just kind of watch them and I'm like, oh, I just really enjoyed that. Let's just do that again. Because why not? Anyways, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, they're two sides of the same coin. One of the things that I feel like I don't know if this is everyone else, this is just me, that breaks my heart a little and gives it a bit more of an emotional impact for me, is the idea that, or when Thanos stabbed Tony and then he was about to die, and it was a very real moment for me. Like I had to reach out and hold Kenji's hand. I was like, oh my god, bitch, hold my fucking hand because I'm about to lose my shit. When that was happening, the thing that crushed me the most was the idea that there was a possibility that Tony and Steve Rogers weren't going to see each other one last time before
reunite the Avengers.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
they weren't going to do that, and that crushed my soul. Not because it wasn't necessarily even reuniting the Avengers; it was just seeing each other again for the one last time, and kind of going, "Okay, you and me, we're the leaders. We're going to do this together. Because I think when they're together, the chemistry is so good between the two. Yeah, they're really good together that I was just like, if you don't let these two people meet in the film, have a little moment together, I'm gonna sue someone. I'm gonna beat the shit out of someone. So when they were like, I genuinely thought Tony Stark was about to die. I was like, no, but it's fine. He didn't die. Spoilers. Okay.
He used the magic thing out of his suit.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Nanobots? I don't know.
It's glue.
He's got internal bleeding, but it's fine.
It's fine now. I'm all right.
Okay, what didn't you like?
What didn't I like? The general pacing and structure of the movie.
I think, yeah.
And it's kind of unavoidable, I suppose, at this point, because there's too much happening and too many characters, and it's all happening at the same time. And you have to... I think the reason being is, like, there are moments that could have been way more dramatic and satisfying if they'd just been able to take their time. And I think, like, as I was saying...
But I think that's a consequence of having so much stuff.
That's what I mean. Like, it's unfortunate in a way that they have... Like, I'm glad they just didn't have Ant-Man, because this is another fucking person that you have to do. But it's... I don't know, like, it's just annoying, like...
I think we were saying that we will watch, let's say we're following Tony Stark's journey, and then, like, they'll cut away to, let's say, the Guardians.
And it'll be, like, another half an hour before you see them.
And then when you stick it back, it's kind of hard to just get your mind back into their circumstances.
Because you can't really work out how much time has passed.
Yeah, because it's all happening really quickly, because obviously all the plot's been pushed, like, literally at a very, like, okay, did this happen, this has happened, this, because I feel like there's so much stuff they have to fit in, and there's so much stuff they have to set up before they can start on the next part, and obviously the next part's not for another year.
And this is the thing as well, like, it's not that I knew who was going to die, but I knew how generally the plot was going to progress, and it was like, this film, they couldn't win.
No, that's what I was saying, yeah.
This film, they had to lose really badly.
Yeah.
Much worse than they have in the previous films. Because they've never lost before.
No.
Really. Not really. No. Civil War was the closest.
Yeah, the ending where, like, who was it? Someone was just like, Peter Quill was just like, did we just lose? And it's just like this moment of, I don't know. Okay, because the thing is, a lot of people on the internet are really, people are all commenting like that, like, I just saw it, I'm like dying, I'm crying, it's so tragic. And I'm like, yeah, but what did you expect would happen? Because if this didn't happen in this film, the second film was just
the second film?
You know what the second film was going to be? It was going to be all of them sitting around having shawarma for like the 400th time.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be like that. It had to be
tennis.
It had to be like this. So I wasn't surprised at the ending.
If you know anything about the comic that it's based off, like, the comic book's not the same, but because there's a lot more characters in the comic as well.
I can imagine.
But, you know, Thanos gets all of them. You know this. Like, and, like, Gamora says at the start, I can just click his fingers, and you're like, yeah, because that actually is going to happen.
Yeah.
He's going to click his fingers and wipe out half of everything. Like, that's just how it's going to work.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect them to actually go into Thanos as a character very much.
I really enjoyed it.
They went into it way more.
It's perfect. The thing I hated the most, I don't like... Look, I like Elizabeth Olsen. Let me get that clear.
Character.
I hate her fucking character. It's just such a cop-out. Like, especially in Civil War, where the thing I remember is, like, she'll be fighting, or people will be fighting, and then something bad will happen, and then she'll just, like, you know, telekinesis it, like, away, and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, dude, stop that. That's not fair. That's like, cheating.
She causes the whole explosion that starts the Civil War problem, and then
she's like like you said, a plot device.
She's just a walking plot device for the whole.
Yeah, like anytime the directors is like, we need something like this to happen, they're just like, oh yes, well, just make
Scarlet Witch do it. Because she's got this like power that nobody's really articulated, so just make her do that.
Yeah, she's just very ambiguous, like fucking Elsa's power in like Frozen. She just like makes a dress. I know Disney is like Disney, but like still, it's just like she makes a dress, and people are like, okay, fine, whatever.
Fine.
She can create sentient life, fine. She can create little snowman dildos. It's fine.
It probably comes in handy. You know?
Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough. The thing it pisses me off because she's not a super well developed character. She's a bit of a plot device.
The reason why she isn't is because they're not allowed to develop her in the way they should.
Yeah,
she's an X-Men.
Because Scarlet Witch technically has a lot of mental health problems in the actual comics, and so that just leads to a lot of
Magneto's daughter.
Yeah, well,
and they're not allowed to do that. But then again, then they'd have to have the Avengers X-Men movie, and I don't fucking want that.
The Avengers X-Men movie. Anyways, and then to make it worse, they put her with Vision, and
I did like how in Civil War she could have just escaped any time.
Yeah, but it's like, no, just Vision has to come in and lift her up. Is that Civil War? No, that's Age of Ultron.
Fuck, I can't even remember.
I don't remember either.
That's when when Vision's created.
Yeah. Anyways, either way, like it was kind of like I felt for a certain moment that their relationship was semi-ambiguous because you know nothing really happened. I mean, they would hang out together, but it wasn't like
I thought it was pretty obvious it was going to go that way.
I assumed, but then part of me was like, don't do it because I don't give a shit about any of these characters. And if you do this, then it's one thing that I'm going to get pissed off about that I don't want to be pissed off about. But they did it anyways because fuck you, Marvel. I felt like the reason they did it was because Wanda
They had to have some sort of emotional weight going into Vision at some point.
Yeah, because otherwise Vision would just
nothing.
No one would care about Vision dying because he has the Mind Stone. So I feel like they put her there as a plot device to create emotional suspense or emotional impact when he did die, and obviously she had to kill him. But then obviously the plot hole is if she can manipulate the Hulk, manipulate the Mind Stone, why can't she just dick around with Thanos into I don't know, putting his gauntlet up his ass? I don't know. Like it just that doesn't make sense. Where do her
powers end?
Yeah, like where does it start? Where does it end? Is it just like, you know?
Is she powerful? Is she weak? What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. It's like she's only powerful when convenient to the plot.
But that's going to be the same with the gauntlet.
Yeah,
it's only going to be useful to Thanos when he's supposed to be winning. When he's supposed to be losing, then they'll outsmart him or something and punch him.
Yeah, well, someone, Kenji was like, why didn't Thor just put the axe through the arm or cut off the hand or
his
something?
head? As Thanos actually said to him, he's like, you should have aimed for the head.
Because you're stupid, Thor. God damn it,
dumbass.
Chris Hemsworth, you're representing Australia. Stop it. You're embarrassing us in front of the magicians.
There were a few moments where I laughed, where it was just like they just didn't bother saying why something was happening or why it happened exactly the way it was, because it didn't make any sense. But it was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, look, we're too far in.
Because it was like Thor left the planet before Civil War, right? Black Panther shows up during Civil War. Wakanda is revealed at the end of Black Panther. And when Thor returns to Earth, he shows up in Wakanda in the middle of the battle. I'm like, how do you know where this is?
I know, he's Thor. He's a god.
Rocket has never been to Earth before either. And he turns up with him as well.
Holy shit.
He just turns up where the trouble is. Okay.
Yeah.
It's time for me to punch people.
I don't know. I guess
that's like the whole point. He just turns up in Wakanda. I was like, okay. He's never been here before he left Earth.
Yeah, isn't Groot just like, why are there a lot of statues of me around?
Yeah.
That's something to think about. Few things I want to say fuck you to Marvel about, which is, firstly, fuck you, Marvel. I don't want to see Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah.
I really desperately do not want to, but you're apparently going to make me watch it because it's between the two parts.
I don't even think I'll bother.
I don't watch it because I hate myself. Secondly, fuck you. I don't want to see Captain Marvel. Fuck, like that. I don't want to ruin the post-credit scenes, but it hints at Captain Marvel, and I was literally just like, oh my god, I thought this was going to be worth the wait. It's not. I waited 15 extra minutes.
I thought it was worth the wait for Samuel Jackson to nearly say motherfucker.
Did he nearly say it? Oh.
Yeah, because the whole click happens during that scene.
Yeah.
And then as he's fading away, he goes, and then it just goes.
It's pretty good. Either way, I was just kind of like, when they were...
I was sitting there, actually, I was wondering, I'm sure there's still characters missing from this movie. And then he turned up and I was like, oh, that's who's missing.
Yeah, the funny one.
It's like Samuel Jackson's missing from this movie.
The famous one.
The awesome one.
Yeah, no, I just, because, you see the little device and it's blinking. I hope they don't introduce her in the second Infinity War film, because I'm just going to be like, oh.
She's going to turn up like Black Panther in Civil War.
Yeah, I'm just kind of pissed. I'm kind of like, I just want this film to do its thing. I don't need it to introduce anything new. I don't want
there's also the teaser at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. When the gold woman's just like, she opens up the thing and there's like a sarcophagus almost, and she's like, I'll call him Adam.
I don't remember that. Yeah.
There's that at the end of Guardians.
What's that supposed to be?
Now that's... I can't remember if that's supposed to be the new leader of the Avengers. Because that's... I can't remember what character it is. Avengers. Yeah, because there's a character called Adam something in the Infinity War comic who leads the Avengers against Thanos. Now, I don't think they're actually going to do that, obviously, because they've completely changed it. But I can't I think there's also 2 versions of the Infinity Gauntlet story.
Yeah, I don't
There's
know.
the Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War, I think, or something like that.
Great.
I can't remember.
Avengers 5, Infinity Gauntlet. Fuck me.
Thanos is back, everyone.
Yay! No, it's Thanos' daughter.
Thanos' daughter, Gamora.
Gamora? I don't know.
Gamora says the Thanos. But yeah,
yeah, I really just can't be fucked. I just want to watch Infinity. But yeah, no, do you know, it's so... me and my partner are so, like, kind of over Marvel, apart from the next few films. Sorry, words. That he genuinely was like, who the fuck is that? And I'm like, oh, it's Captain Marvel.
It's
who
phase
the
5.
fuck?
It's phase 5.
And I'm like, it's the next group of people. And then he's like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, yeah.
Was Kenji under the impression they were just going to leave it at the end of it?
No, but I think he thought that they were... I don't think he's ever heard of Captain Marvel. So I think he thought it was just going to be Spider-Man and the ones we already know, like the Guardians and all that. And I'm like, no, there's actually new. And then I'm like, oh, because I also mentioned Shazam,
but that's DC.
I know that's DC, but I did mention that. And he's like, what the fuck, Shazam? And I'm like, oh, well, the kid says Shazam, and then he turns into a man. Yeah. And he's like, what the fuck? And I'm like...
Apparently, I heard that they cast that film now, Shazam.
Yay. I really just don't want to see Captain Marvel. It looks so...
But it's a lady.
I wish I could make that Wookiee noise. Sorry.
You sounded more like a porg.
I know. Tries to be a Wookiee, is a porg.
Captain Marvel's a lady, though.
I know. I thought... Is she like the female version of Captain America?
I thought she was more like Superman for Marvel.
I don't know.
I don't even know. I actually have no idea who Captain Marvel is, really. I think she flies, from what I remember. And she's always got really huge assets.
I know you want to talk about Steve Rogers and his role.
Yeah, because this is the thing that actually annoyed the shit out of me, is because Captain America is just not used very much in this film, and I thought he should have been more important. But he basically... And this is the thing as well. I was like... Why give him these shitty shields on his arms?
I know, his original shield is so good.
I was like, you guys have got all the vibranium in the world. Make him a fucking shield that looks like his shield.
Oh, it would have been cool if they had one where he it would just manifest like the suit.
Like the nano suit.
Yeah, like nano suit.
Nano shield.
The nano shield, yeah, that'd be cool.
But instead it was like this arm guard things that spread out sometimes, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
That's so ugly. At least put some colour on it. I love his...
Notice how his stars ripped off as well.
Well, yeah, because they were like, oh, you look rough because they went on the run for them. But I'm like, surely they weren't on the run with just their costumes the whole time. Surely he just would have carefully packed that away for a rainy day. No.
Nothing out he walks around, he's 6 foot something, and nobody notices.
No. It's just
that's
that's
Captain America.
No, he grew a beard. He's no longer Captain America.
Okay, he doesn't look like Captain America.
It's like Clark Kent when he puts on his glasses.
I did like actually when Thor turned up and he was like, oh, I see you've got my beard.
Yeah.
You had a haircut.
Yeah.
Because it's like Captain America's like the 1940s clear cut.
Yeah, I know.
Army man. Now he looks like Thor.
And Thor now looks...
Thor looks like the clean cut Army man, yeah.
Yeah. I was disappointed. I just felt like...
I did think that, it's funny because I was like, they didn't take enough time with Captain America, and then I think they kind of took too long with Thor.
Yeah. I don't know why they made Thor a big thing, because...
The whole sequence with him, firing up that sun to make his weapon, I was like, this is taking too long. I was like, it's fun, but it doesn't add very much to the film.
I'm just confused on why they all of a sudden switched Thor, because to me the big characters were always going to be Captain America and Iron Man, always, because they were the kind of OG, the original founders of the thing.
I don't mind that the original Avengers, the ones that appeared in the first Avengers film, are the main focus. I don't mind that so much, but
I think you're right, there was a lot of focus on Thor.
I thought Doctor Strange was more important than I thought he was going to be. He was in it a lot,
Benedict Cumberbatch, everyone loves him.
I know.
He can't say penguins though.
No, I've seen that.
Penguins.
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 Yeah.
He's so terrified of the word.
But still struggling with that American accent, but that's all right. It wasn't as noticeable because he wasn't the focal point of the film, but
I still think of him as a British person.
I think I enjoy his powers the most because they're the most visually interesting. Because the bit when he fought Thanos on the Titan on Titan, when he multiplied into thousands of it, and all of the whips came out, and That was cool. It looked interesting. And I think, like, Doctor Strange, the standalone film, one of the more visually interesting movies that Marvel's made.
The mirror realm.
All the mirror stuff and all this stuff they did. That was really cool.
Yeah. We're looking at time.
This is directed by the Russo brothers as well, who did Civil War and Winter Soldier.
Well, Winter Soldier's still one of my favorites.
Number one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Still number one.
I think Winter Soldier and Iron Man 3 are, to me, my favorites.
Yeah, my favorites too.
Yeah, I don't consider any of the Thor films exceptionally good at all.
I still think, like, Ragnarok's still probably the best, but it's not doesn't have much competition against the Thor
like,
films.
There's no, in terms of actual depth in story and, like...
Not much to it.
There's really not much. It's very, very artificial. Artificial? No.
I did like the bit where they came and said, well, when Thor was just like, well, I found out I had this sister who he'd sent off to hell, and then she came and like my father died, and then so I had to kill my half sister, and then
my half brother was killed by Thanos.
Yeah, my half.
And then he's like,
but
everything's okay.
Everything's okay. And then Chris Pratt's just like, well, I had to kill my father who killed my mother, and I'm like going over like all of
the people that
all of the things, and it's like all the stories start sounding the same. Almost.
Yeah,
like it's all to do with their parents.
Yeah, it's like
and like Gamora, my father's a psychotic nutcase who wants to kill half the galaxy. And so it's like, yeah, well,
that's what it is.
And I did enjoy, yes, the rabbit is right. With Thor and Rocket,
right?
Thinking he's a rabbit, and that's good. Teenage Groot with his Game Boy.
I love Teenage Groot. I think Groot's like the best character ever. Because my favorite scenes when they're like, Groot, put away the Game Boy, blah, blah, blah. I'm Groot. Whoa, why would you say that? Oh my God, he's such a teenager. I even like the Thor understanding him straight away. It's like, and then he goes, you understand Groot? He goes, yes, it was an elective. Yeah, that was so good.
It was generally good. Now, I suppose we should talk about the ending a little
and
bit, where that leaves us for the next film.
Got a few more minutes. So pretty much Thanos gets all the stones, snaps his fingers, and...
I didn't quite understand. He disappears.
He disappears because he's in retirement?
He disappears. He has a vision of Gamora. I assume in the afterlife as a child of some kind. And then he appears somewhere. I don't know where.
I feel like it's...
We're probably going to find out later. I reckon it's going to be connected to some hero that they're setting up. Maybe.
Captain Marvel.
Maybe I don't know. So I feel like Captain Marvel's from Earth.
Yeah, but then...
I don't even know, actually. I haven't got...
I just don't understand because, like, all these superheroes appearing, especially if they're, like, like Captain Marvel's, like, should be born with their powers, I assume.
I've got no idea, so I can't...
And I'm like, well, was she in the first fucking films?
But yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people disappear.
So a lot of people... this was actually another problem I had. I was like, I didn't think that was hard-hitting enough. Them, like,
no one really... a few people reacted, like Tony Stark with...
No, I don't mean like that. I mean the actual visual of them turning to dust. I didn't think it was hard-hitting enough. I think they should have dropped dead. Their bodies left behind, that sort of thing.
Oh, like Vision, how he's like...
Yeah. No, but
that would have been a bit too much, I feel. I feel like they would have caused a heart attack.
That would have, like... been a much better
visual.
If
he clicked his finger and everyone just...
And people just started dropping dead instead of, like, turning to dust.
Yeah, well, they had to soften the blow somehow.
But, like, I don't mean, like, dropped dead necessarily, like, straight away, like, suffered a bit first. Like, they had time.
There was a bit of pain.
There's a bit of pain.
Well, the only one who said that they felt off was Spider-Man. That was, I know what you mean.
And that's the other thing, it's like, that's kind of inconsistent as well. Because, like, why does he get the long, drawn-out bit?
Yeah.
But it's like, and... who they chose to make more dramatic and not... Like, I understand why they made Spider-Man like that, because Tony Stark dragged him into this, and now he's dead because of him.
Yeah.
That made sense. There was, like, Groot and Rocket had a moment where Groot fades away. Most of the Guardians just drift off them. It's like, okay. Doctor Strange just said this was the only way, and then disappears. Yeah. And the one that I hated the most was Bucky, because it was like...
I know.
He's standing feet away from...
And he's just like, Steve?
Captain America, he goes, Steve, and then he just falls, like, disappears. And Captain America's got no fucking reaction at all. I was like,
it pisses me off. Cause...
It's like, didn't you risk your life to save him?
Yeah, it's like, and I really hated their reunion too, because it's like, how you doing? Oh, not bad for the end of it. And then there's no, like...
Come on, bro.
No, but not even that. I mean, like...
There's no warmth.
There's no warmth. There's no like, and I know for a fact
They're
that
war
like
buddies from 100 years ago.
exactly,
They fought the Nazis
exactly. And the
together.
thing is, it was so good in Winter Soldier and Civil War because like when Bucky's
you
like
understood the bond.
yeah, like Bucky was punching Steve and Steve was like, oh, because I'm with you to the end of the line, and
Yeah.
then Steve fall, and I was just like, oh, I'm dying. Oh God, my heart. And then this is just like, how you going? Yeah, cool. See you next
cool.
Sunday for brunch.
Yeah, cool.
I was like,
I'm gonna
fuck.
die in 5 minutes.
Yeah, fuck you.
Like fucking Black Panther got a more dramatic
Yeah.
ending, like death,
Yeah,
because he was with the guard lady. What's her name? I can't remember her name.
I don't know. And she was like, what the
And
fuck?
it's
Oh my
funny
God, what the
because
fuck?
That was actually not too badly done because he turns up concerned for her.
Yeah.
So you think she's going to disappear, and then the camera turns and she's like starts yelling and screaming, and then it backs away and you can see the dust, and he's disappeared
Yeah.
instead. And I was like, oh okay.
That's
So
very
he
good.
got it instead.
Yeah, yeah. I thought the part where Rhodey was like, where's Falcon? And
I was
he's just...
expecting Rhodey to die.
Me too.
I was sitting there when it had the shot of them all at
Yeah.
the end after it's happened, and Captain America's sitting on the
Yeah.
ground, and like Rhodey's in the back, and I was like, why the fuck are you still here?
I know. But he's like, oh, like, what's his name? Sam, where are you? Don't don't mess around with me, blah, blah, blah. I was just a bit like, oh, should we tell him? Should we just let him be? I don't know. What do we do? What do we say? I think...
Oh, but one thing I will mention about the Wakanda fight, I liked that they put Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster armor. That was fun.
I like how he fell though. He's like, oh, it's exactly like the Hulk.
And then you see the chick from Black Panther's like,
Oh, fuck.
oh,
It's like
fucking loser.
so uncivilized. Anyways, I think, look, I like the concept of the ending. I agree with you. It could have been done in a way that was probably more
I
impactful.
think the execution wasn't impactful.
Yeah.
I would say that about most of the dramatic moments. It was like they were good, but they could have been better.
They're really rushed, I think. They're just like, okay, well, we
they
just have to...
feel too rushed.
They
in
have
some areas,
Which is just...
except for perhaps the Gamora bit.
Yeah.
That was the only part I thought that they took their time appropriately.
Yeah. But I think it's one of those things, it's like when you have such a big
But
cast.
it's because all of the dramatic moments they rushed through are characters that are already developed,
Yeah,
whereas Thanos wasn't yet.
I guess.
So they had to give him
Which
something.
we'll just have to see in the next film.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we should wrap it up here.
Yep.
Final thoughts, final feelings. It's
Yeah,
good.
you'll probably want to.
Everyone's
you're
probably
going
going
to
to see it. Yeah, this is gonna. I think this is going to be bigger than Black Panther by a long mile.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
but Black Panther was very big, so who knows? Maybe it won't.
This has to be bigger though.
Yeah,
Like it has to be.
be
More
embarrassing
profitable.
if it wasn't.
It has to be more profitable than that because it's.
Huge.
I mean, it's got to be more expensive.
Yeah, it's 300 million.
I mean, I am predicting the next film will be insanely overhyped because
I'm now worried that the second film will never live up to the hype.
no, it won't.
Because the first film did. I feel like the first film did technically live up to the hype because I knew when I walked in that people were going to pass away, and I knew for a fact that it was going to be rushed. Like I kind of was like, look, as long as it's not like a mess, I'll be accepting of the fact that it might have to be pushed around a little bit more just to forward the story, or else I'm going to be there for 4 hours just to see the one film. But yeah, no, I am worried about. I don't want to watch Ant-Man.
I guarantee you though that the last film, every single one of them will be in the same place at some point for a final confrontation.
Yeah, like they'll do this thing where they all start running towards each other, and then Thanos
they'll
is there.
pose.
And then there'll be like the slow-mo kind of them all jumping, and it's of course that's going to happen.
The funny thing is, actually, just before we close this, I've seen it was a clip that was going around on like YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that, and it's the ending of the animated Infinity War film, and like the fight between the Avengers and Thanos in that. That's really interesting, like kind of like how they use the gauntlet against him.
Oh yeah,
Like, it was interesting. Like it's stuff like the older Thor gets, the more powerful he gets. So when Thanos turned time forward so far that all of them are dead except for him, but he gets more powerful, so Thanos can't defeat him. So he has to turn it back again. Stuff like this, like all these different like little things that they do.
that's pretty cool. Anyways,
Yeah, I'm predicting something like that as well.
okay, hopefully. Either way, we won't know until literally next year.
Next year.
Yeah,
At least it's just next year though. It's not like you have to wait 2 years or something.
it's true.
Like fucking Game of Thrones.
Okay, I think we should wrap it up here.
Okay.
Are we going to be starting weekly posts now instead of fortnightly?
Sure.
We might be doing weekly, so
I don't know what we'll be seeing the next week.
we'll figure it out then.
Yep.
Okay,
We'll
bye.
figure it out. Bye.